Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Day one of Brisbane lockdown. Are we up to take 3? I feel like we had the very long one, then we had a short one in January, and now another one. So, hey, we can do this. What's another 3 days, right? So, I'm going to come to you quite a few times and show you what I'm making in our kitchen from the ingredients we've got here. Those of you who watched in the last few days would know that I don't have a huge amount of stuff. I normally would have big 5-kilo barrels of things. The things I've actually got left in 5-kilo barrels are really oddball things. They're not your usual. They're not your normal, nuts and seeds and stuff. They're kind of like amaranth flakes and weird things like that. So I will be cooking some things that are just from your basics that I've got in my drawers here. And showing you what you can do with them. So hopefully you're in the same situation where you don't want to go to the shops and you want to cook with what you've got. So today I'm trying a brand new recipe called Angela's Sticky Tea Bread. Now, I never made it before. Sounds really interesting, and actually I think I went and did a demo for Kim once, and she talked about this bread from home. I'm fairly certain that had brewed tea in it, and it's more like that coffee shop bread. So when I say tea bread, I'm not talking like a loaf of bread you'd have with an egg. I'm talking about like one that you slather butter on, okay, that type. Feel like it's perfect weather for that today. Now I'm going to tell you today how to make this gluten-free as well. So I have started it though because there's a few steps at the beginning. Now do say hi if you're on today. I'd love to know what you're doing. Have you got yourself set up with some things to do, stuck at home today? If you've got kids at home, what have you put them on task doing? Mine are out cleaning windows at the moment. So, get things done. Actually, more so, put them on task so they don't argue with each other. If they're cleaning a window, the worst they can do is tell on each other. So, let's get started. First things first, as you'll see, it asks you to preheat your oven and line a loaf tin. Now, I've got the awesome new one from the Mix Shop, which is a silicone. Obviously, this is not a big loaf one, it's mini loaves. So I'm going to see about making it into mini loaves. I love this new collection at the Mix Shop at the moment because it's actually got rigid sides. It's got like steel in the side, and then it's got silicone bottom. So it holds its form really well. So they've got muffins, they've got donuts, they've got all sorts of things in this design. So I love it. Very ingenious. Now, the first thing into the machine you'll see is margarine. I don't know about you, but I haven't had margarine since I lived at home. Margarine, I don't believe, is very good for you. It's made of a lot of byproducts of things. Go Google and see what you come up with. So I've just used butter instead, okay? That's the swap over, is butter, because we know butter is a real deal product. It comes off milk. I even remember as a kid, we grew up on a few acres, so we had cows. So we would often have the freshly milked milk in the probably an aluminium-y style or stainless steel barrel, and we would then scoop the little bit of cream off the top, and obviously cream churned makes butter. So anyway, butter, swap it for butter, even swap, okay? No need to go more or less, just exactly the same. And I reckon you could probably do coconut oil. If you can't do dairy at all, do coconut oil, okay? It's a great substitute, especially as we get into winter where your coconut oil is solidifying again. It makes it a really easy swap. Okay, this one I had to get a bit organised for, and I don't normally have tea bags in the house. I'm only a tea drinker, and if I am I'm not a black tea drinker, okay? So you can see I've got some tea bags in there. I'm more of a herbal tea drinker. So anyway, I did dig around. I found some white tea bags. Close, similar, it'll have to do. That's my theory. So use what you've got, right? So brewed them and put the tea in there. Sultanas, I did have sultanas. I put that in, and then I put in, I know it didn't have glazed cherries, okay, because I don't know, yuck. I don't know, I don't like those things. So personal preference. Anyone else out there love them or hate them, the glazed cherries on Christmas cakes? Tell me, I'd love to know. Okay, and then I put in some sugar. I put in monk fruit sweetener, the low carb sugar, but you could use raw sugar, white sugar, caster sugar, stevia, whatever you use. Obviously stevia would have a different ratio. You don't go equal, but whatever you would normally use at this point in time. And I did reduce it down. I only put in 80. I feel like any cake that's going to ask me for more than 100 is getting too sweet per serve for my liking, okay, especially when I'm feeding kids. So then what you do is you heat that up for 4 minutes at 90 degrees. So it brings it up to, and I guess it's brewing it, it's infusing the flavour, and then it tells you to let it sit for 15 minutes. Now it's been probably about 10 to 12 now, and you guys know patience is not my strength, so that's why I thought I'd come on now and show you the next few steps. So I am doing gluten-free. I've got my stash of gluten-free gluten-free plain actually this time, because that's what I grabbed out of the caravan. And I'm going to change this into self-raising flour. So you guys have heard me talk about this before. Oh, look at that, showering my Thermomix with flour on the first step. It's going to be a great day. You guys have heard me though convert plain flour to self-raising flour just by adding baker's powder, baking powder. So watch me do this in a second. I'm just going to bring this up to 250, or close enough to, because it wants 255. So I'm going to allow a little bit of capacity for my baking powder, and it is 1 teaspoon per 100. So I'll be going for 1.5 teaspoons. And this then converts it into self-raising flour. How cool is that? Such an easy way to remember it. And it also means you don't need to put as much in your trolley on shopping day, but also you don't need to buy self-raising flour. So when you've got days like this where you really don't want to go to the shops, you just use what you got. I do have a little bit of self-raising flour though from yesterday, but I thought I'll show you this anyway. Okay, 1 teaspoon of bicarb of soda. This stuff seems to last forever. I don't know about you guys, but is that something you've got in your cupboard that just seems to never get, like the bottle never, or the container never reduces in size? Fine, I've had this one forever. So, all right, nearly done. Some salt, 1/2 teaspoon for flavour. Okay, next up, 1 teaspoon of spice. This is important. I reckon if you don't have it, you certainly want to be putting something in like cinnamon, some nutmeg, maybe a tiny pinch of cloves. Don't go heavy on the cloves, it gets too hot. But certainly if you don't have mixed spice, you can certainly compensate with definitely cinnamon and nutmeg and a tiny bit of clove. Half as much nutmeg normally to cinnamon, so maybe you put like, I'm going to guess like a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, and a pinch of clove. So that's kind of your ratio. I'm sure mixed spice may have some other things in it, but that certainly would do enough to give that flavour pop that you want. All right, 1 tablespoon of golden syrup. I'm going to use my rice malt, I think, if I can get the jar. It's stuck to the drawer. Mine will obviously throw slightly different flavour because golden syrup has, I guess, a more cooked flavour, but it'll do. I think I've actually got golden syrup. I probably could have used it. It's another one of those things that's in my cupboard in my house that seems to never disappear. I seem to have, I'm just looking, yeah, that and glucose syrup I have in my drawers, and I'm sure the expiry must have been probably pre-2000 on them. They just never go, they never go down, they never use them. All right, next up, insert the measuring cup into the mixing bowl lid, and it's got 7 seconds, speed 3. I'm going to give this a spin, and I'm going to go wash the rice malt off my finger. All right, I'm back. Now, because that bowl was hot, I could hear that it went up to speed super slowly. It really didn't go up very fast. Oh, it didn't do too bad, though. Oh, it's growing. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that bicarb soda has obviously reacted with the sugars, and it's actually a bit of a science experiment in there. That's cool. And it's done. Let me just go back, though. I actually feel like that last step, I'm going to do one more mix on that last step, just because it's 70 degrees and we're not getting that straight to speed that we would normally get if it's cool. I could be about to explode the stuff out the top of my Thermomix, I'm not sure. But anyway, let's see. Now, do come say hi when you're watching the replays later. I'd love to know what your plans are for lockdown. Are you going to declutter? Are you trying to work and juggle kids? Have you got a to-do list for the kids of jobs for them to do? What is your plan? I would love to know. Let's give each other ideas as well. So, nearly done. We're now going to transfer this. So, transfer to prepared loaf tin and bake for 50 to 60 minutes. I reckon I'll probably only need to do 20 minutes in here, in these nice little mini ones, which is what I'm betting on, because the kids are going to be dying of hunger soon, apparently. They have big breakfast, guys, but lately, I don't know, they must all be having growth spurts. They want to eat non-stop, like every half an hour, pretty much. So until the skewer inserted comes out clean, remove from the oven and leave to cool for 10 minutes before transferring to a wire rack to cool completely. Serve sliced, slather with butter, with a strong cup of tea, for example. Doesn't that sound lovely? Now, before we go, and while I do this last little bit, did you all see the changes to Cookie Doo last night? how exciting. So we've now finally got the ability to save our preferences. So you can create your own, oh gosh, this is amazing. It reminds me of, oh, okay, help me out, guys. What is the one that froths up? Sticky date pudding. That's what it reminds me of. So it allows you to store your preferences and select a cooking style as well. So if you're vegetarian, there's one there that's for veggie lovers, which is only going to give you then, I guess, the vegetable recipes, the vegetarian ones and things like that. So super exciting to see the progression of there on Cookie Doo. Little by little we're getting there, which is amazing. Well, more so the Germans are getting there. It's a German. So Cookie Doo, for those of you who don't know, it's actually managed and it's all owned by the Germans. Thermomix in Australia then obviously subscribe to it to allow you guys to subscribe to it, and it gives us that variety and those recipes to send. So sometimes you guys will ring me and talk to me about things like trying to renew subscriptions and things like that, and you know, you'll say, who do I call? I'm like, well, you kind of can't call anyone because it's German based. So I mean, I can troubleshoot, and we always do sort it out, but it's definitely something that we've got to do here. Hello Robin, how are you this morning? It's lovely to have you on. I'm just making this beautiful sticky tea bread. I'm making it into mini loaves this morning. Never made it before. It's called Angela's Sticky Tea Bread. So I'm going to spread these out in a minute. I'm just trying to evenly put them out in the containers. And this is the new silicone tray for the mix shop as well. So hoping that it won't take 50 minutes to cook. It won't take long at all, which will be exciting. Kids will have these in 20 minutes, and I'm certainly not going to wait for them to cool. That's for sure. All right, get the extras out. Which ones need to top up before I spread it out? I am wondering if I'm a little full, a little ambitious on the spacing in here, but anyway, that's all right. I will be sure to share pictures with you at the end. Now, just a little reminder as well that we are coming to end of month, and that means offers. You know, we don't always get offers. When I bought my Thermomix years ago, there was no offers when you bought a Thermomix. You just bought a Thermomix, right? And the Thermomix is the star of the show. But if you've got friends and family thinking about getting a Thermomix, the amazing Meter Plus and Toolkit bundle offer ends tomorrow. So tell them to get onto it. Tell them to reach out so I can give them the info on how to get it on the bench. And they've also got 36 months interest free. So $16.26 a week to get a Thermomix on the bench. So amazing. Yeah, so affordable, especially if you're going to be locked down. You really want to be able to cook just about anything from your pantry. And that's the benefit of it. You know, I didn't have to hit the shops yesterday because I kind of went, I'm just going to have to work with what I've got. Was that yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Just all blurs together. So yeah, I want to try and smooth these out a little bit. Give them a little tap. That's helping. Alright. I think my spatula more so just drags the mix around. It's not necessarily smoothing. Alright, well, I'm going to put these in the oven. Now, I'm going to be back shortly, probably in the next half an hour. I'm going to show you guys how to make chocolate from scratch. So, tomorrow night, I was going to say in 2 nights, but it's tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, I'm organising a cooking class. So my team and I are jumping online tomorrow night, and we're cooking all things Easter. So it will be on Zoom. So I will put the invite up so you guys can register for that. And I'm cooking a beautiful dish that requires a chocolate Easter egg in the centre. But with the now lockdown in Brisbane, number one, we don't really do chocolate Easter egg. Well, number one, we don't really do chocolate in my house. Hubby and I will eat dark chocolate, 80 to 90% dark chocolate. My kids have never really associated Easter eggs and chocolate and that sort of stuff with it. So anytime we've put kind of rituals together for our Easters where we do things like make the chocolate and we make the little Easter nests and things like that. So, but what I need, so I didn't go shopping and I haven't gone shopping and bought Easter eggs because we don't do that normally. We would make our own. So my one tomorrow night that I'm presenting needs Easter egg in the centre. So guess what I'm going to make for you guys today? I'm going to show you how to turn. Now you may not have these ingredients. I do, because every year, as I said, we make these chocolate things, creations as a family, as part of our routines that we do and our rituals, not the right word, but I'm trying to think of what the word is I'm after. So I'm going to show you guys how to do it, but I've got the cocoa butter that you use to make it, and I'm going to show you how we turn that into chocolate, and that's actually how you would, how chocolate people make chocolate. So I'm going to come back in a little while and I'm going to show you how to make chocolate. You may not be able to cook along at home because you may not have the products to do so, but doesn't mean you don't want to go out though in next month and buy the bag of cocoa butter, and then you've got it for next year. It doesn't really expire. I'll go check if it's expired, but I don't like, it's one of those things that just keeps. They look like massive big white chocolate drops, and they take a while to melt. It will take a little while to show you this video. It'll be one of those ones I'll have to put my patience on for, but I'm going to show you how to make chocolate from scratch in your Thermomix shortly. So keep an eye out on your lives. I think there's somewhere on your platforms where you can actually say I want to be notified of lives, and that will then let you know when I do come live. So by all means, find where that is on there so that you guys can see when I do come live. I will be coming live a few times today. Every time I go to cook and feed for my kids today, feed for my kids. It's going to be a big day. Anytime I go live and I cook to feed my kids, I will push the play button and show you guys. So anyway, guys, take care. Hope your days are going smoothly so far, those of you in Brisbane with me who are locked down, and I will see you shortly. Bye for now.